First, we will talk about writing linear equations in point-slope form, and then we will talk about graphing linear equations in point-slope form. This is the formula for a point-slope equation of a line. The y is the dependent variable. The m is the slope. X is the independent variable. The x1 and y1 represent a point on the line, and m is our slope, as I already said. And when we fill in the equation, these highlighted parts are the parts we are going to fill in. This equation is most useful if we are given the slope and a point, or if we're given 2 points. Write the equation of a line in point-slope form, that's this form right here, for the following. If it passes through this point and has this slope. So in place of the letter m, we're going to put the 5 that is the slope. This minus sign is from the formula. This minus sign is from the formula. So we're going to put the x value here. And so we're going to put a minus 3 from that right up there. And then the y value is 6. So this is y minus, put my equal sign. Minus a minus makes a plus. That is the equation in point-slope form. If we are given 2 points, before we can use the point-slope form, we have to figure out what the slope is. So the slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and these are my y values. So that would be 1 subtract 7 and 5 subtract 4. 1 subtract 7, 5 subtract 4, so that would be my slope. So in place of the m, I am going to put in the slope. And I am going to substitute in one of the points. You can substitute in the first point. Now remember that this is your x and this is your y. So this number goes over here with the x. This minus was from the formula. This y number goes over here with the y. That is the equation in point-slope form. Or you could use your other point. You could use this x and this y. You still have the same slope. So either one of those would be a correct answer. If I put this in slope-intercept form, it would be the same slope-intercept form. This 3 should not be here. That's the instructions. Write the equation of the line in point-slope form for each of the following for this graph. So the first thing I need to do is get the slope. So the slope, if I'm counting slope on a graph, I count rise over run. This line is going up, so it's going to be a positive slope. 1, 2, 3 over 1. And that's going to be equal to a positive 3. I can use either point, and so I'm going to choose to use this point. So this point right here would be 2, 1, 2, negative 2. So y minus, this number is my y number, equals the slope x minus the x number. Minus a minus is a plus. I could have used the other point. It doesn't matter. Okay, if I have an equation in point slope form and I want to graph it, I could change it to y equals mx plus b form, but I don't have to. I can start by getting the point and then use the slope to count the rise over the run. Now, here's the tricky part. The equation has minus signs in it. That means that when I take this xy point out of the equation, I have to change the signs. This is my x number because it's with the x, and this is my y number. My point is not 2 and 4. When I take this point out of the equation, I have to change the signs because of the way that the formula was written in the first place. And then the slope is the negative 3. So that I can count it on a graph, I need it in fraction form. Since this is negative, I will count down and right if I can fit that on the graph. So this is going to be negative 2. This is the point on the graph. 1. If I count down and right, I go off of the graph. You can also count a negative slope by going, it's by going up and left. This point was graphed incorrectly. Let's do this correctly. 1, 2, 3, left. And I wrote it down here correctly, but then I didn't do it correctly on my graph. 1, 2, 3. And so now my points will line up. And this is a slope, a line with a negative slope, negative 3, and it goes through the point negative 2, 4. When I have an equation in point slope form, this is the x and this is the y because this number is with the x and this number is with the y. When I take this out of the equation, this has to change signs. And this has to change signs. It's a negative here, so it will be a positive. My line is going to go through the point. And my slope is going to be 3, and that's the same thing as 3 over 1. So I'm going to go up 3 and right 1 from this point right here. So it's going to be all the way over here on the edge of my graph.